All right, so many of you guys know who we are, but if not, a little introduction. I'm Dana Chanel.
And I'm Prince Donnell.
And we're the co-founders of a virtual tax preparation company called Jumping Jack Tax, built by our family. Now, we've officially, as of last night, put together a petition seeking answers, and not just an answer, but a solution from the Trump administration and every piece of government that was responsible for putting together this stimulus bill.
Absolutely. So for many who don't know, for most Americans, if you're listening to this, you're going to be receiving a stimulus check of either $1,200 or $2,400. If you want to know if you qualify, you can indeed watch one of our past videos where we broke it down in about 10 to 12 minutes, but that's not what we're here for as of right now. We're here to talk about the group of people who were left out of this stimulus package. Now, let me just give a simple breakdown here. If you're a single filer and you make less than $75,000 per year, you're set to make a $1,200 stimulus check, maximum stimulus check of $1,200. And if you have two kids, if you have any dependents for that matter, you're going to receive an additional $500 credit for every child under the age of 17 years old. So for example, you're a single filer and you're a mom and you make less than $75,000, you're going to get $1,200. Plus, if you got two kids, you're going to get an additional $1,000, which will make your stimulus check a total of $2,200. Okay? But here's where the interesting part comes in play. Let's say that you're a mother or a father right now that has a child that's over the age of 17 years old that you financially support, that lives in your home, or you're taking care of them while they're in college. You're not going to qualify for that additional $500 credit that's rightfully owed to you. And more important is that if you're a high school senior or a college kid right now who's working, you are in college, you're supporting yourself and going through all your classes and getting your good grades, if your parents are claiming you as a dependent, you're not going to qualify for a stimulus check regardless of your financial situation, of if it affected you because your parents claimed you as a dependent. So as it stands right now, parents, if you have a child that's over the age of 16, you're not getting the $500 additional credit. And college kids or young adults between 17 to 24, if your parents claim you as a dependent, you are not going to be receiving a stimulus check.
Now let me just break down what this looks like, because those are all a lot of fluffy words. But let me just help you explain what this scenario looks like. And it does not require for us to be going through a situation to have empathy. You ready for this? So imagine you are a hard-working mom, going to work like any other day, and then all of a sudden, this thing called COVID-19 pops up and destroys your ability to go to work. Your job goes ahead and lets you know, like many Americans have already felt the pain of, say, you know what, we don't need you right now. And be due to the fact that there's a stay-at-home order, wait, you get a phone call. From who? Your child's educational institution telling you to come pick up your kid right now because we do not want to be responsible. We don't want to be liable for your child getting sick. So come get your child right now. Which means you just told me, as the provider of my household, that I no longer have income coming in. Then you asked me to go pick up my two boys from college, and then I still have a senior in high school. And now I'm gonna have three boys who literally eat like a horse. So that means my grocery bill is gonna go up the roof. If we're home every single day, all day, our utilities from our water, our lights, and don't even get me started, just because kids left college, they still have to go to online class, which means if I wasn't necessarily prepared, they don't have laptops because they were using the educational institution was providing that for them. If we don't have Wi-Fi, we don't have printer, we don't have a fax machine, I'm literally going to go into survival mode. I am terrified that I will not be able to put food on the table. Now, we're not gonna go ahead and debate, is the stimulus check enough or not? We all know that it's not, but when the government talks about providing aid, why are we ignoring these young adults who need our assistance? And not even the young adults, but the people and the parents who are providing for them. You have to be very mindful that we are training this generation on how to treat us when we get older, when we are going through a pandemic, when we have to be supported. And it is completely, undeniably, and diabolically shameful for us to put parents in a situation to not be able to provide for their families. That extra $500, even if their children are in between the ages of 17 to 24 years old, that $500 can at least fill up the fridge.
Absolutely. And if you got 3 kids, that's an additional $1,500 that you just lost because all 3 of your kids are above the age of 17, are above the age of 16, and now you don't qualify based off of these stimulus qualifications. So honestly, we're here because we want to have a solution. And here's the solution is that, like my wife said in the beginning, we put together a petition where we want you, if you agree with this, or if you're a mother or a father that's affected by this to where you're not receiving your additional $500 credit, or you're a college kid right now who feels as though you should be receiving a stimulus credit, we want to get this in front of the government as soon as possible. So with this petition, we're asking that you sign. We need 100,000 signatures expeditiously. And with those 100,000 signatures, we want to put this before the government so that they can give us an answer as to why they have completely excluded parents from receiving this additional credit for their 17 to 24-year-olds, and why they've excluded the young adults who are the future of our country. And we want you to sign, and we're going to get this in front of the government to get answers. And more importantly, we're going to be figuring out how to get them to roll this back or to add an additional part to this stimulus bill so that parents are able to get paid out their additional credit that's rightfully owed to them because they are supporting these young adults.
Guys, we need to unite together. I don't think you understand. Just because someone sits on a podium or they stand in front of a TV, it does not mean that they understand what we're going through. It does not mean that they're smarter. Please remember that government officials, politicians who are making these decisions on our behalf, they work for us. And so when we can sit here and empathize and have sympathy for our brothers, our sisters, and I'm talking about American people, our brothers and sisters, not our literal blood brothers and sisters, but we are all struggling. We need your support. And the only way that we make a difference is if we scream loud enough that they hear our cries. But I know that there are so many families right now who are raising their hand, asking for assistance, asking, hey, wait, what about me? What about my child? What about my fridge? What about my home? What about my utilities? Is there anything that you can do? And we are ignoring them. So it's okay for the government to give us answers. Explain to us why were so many people excluded? Why were these young adults excluded? But most importantly, we just need a solution. We need a solution by all means necessary, and I mean faster. Fast. And so we just ask that the American people, you guys, we are fighting for you, but we need your help. We are only as strong as what we can do together. And so we're just encouraging you right now. It is no longer a cute video or a motivational video. This is an opportunity to be a part of a necessary change and stance and what we have to do to make sure we have food on the table at the end of the night.
Absolutely. And lastly, before we end this out, is we are both big believers of ownership. We're both big believers of going out and getting your check. So we're not sitting here begging the government to provide us with assistance. That's the reason why we've started companies that are doing very well. That's the reason why we've helped others in the community, thousands of people, to start businesses, because we want everybody to have ownership, and because we don't believe that 12 or 2400 is going to fix an internal issue that's going on inside of our families. But when the government steps up and said that they're going to provide aid, like my wife said, then make sure that they're going to be providing aid fully to everybody that deserves it. So please be sure to fill out the petition, and we're going to keep you up to date on when we get answers and if we can go ahead and get this rolled back. So parents that are listening to this and college kids that are listening to this, young adults, you're not left out of the loop.
We just want you to know that we love y'all, we thank y'all, but most importantly, we're willing to fight for y'all. And so we're your co-founders,
Prince Donnell
and Dana Chanel, and make sure you send this petition to as many households as possible.
and we'll keep you updated.